Well, everybody, thank you for taking your time to be here tonight. I am really excited to share it with you today. So here's the thing, right? Day trading specifically, that's what I focus on, although I am going to be fully talking about financial markets on a whole, because I believe that a lot of times we don't understand the full picture. And even though we try to categorize or niche it down to specific things, when you know the whole idea and understanding, you're able to fully work with the markets versus constantly second guessing yourselves and just second guessing everything, right? You really get to understand what is going on. So I'm going to be talking a lot about that today. But the thing is, for you guys to truly get anything out of this is to be proactive, right? And what does that mean? I always say that day trading is not a spectator's sport. Okay, that means you ask questions. I know that sometimes you feel like, well, this is a dumb question, but you'd be surprised. There are no such things as dumb questions, right? And usually, if you have that question, I can guarantee that more than half of the people in the room also have the same types of questions. And they probably might not have known about those questions, or they're too shy to ask themselves. So please ask. I promise to answer every single question. That is definitely one of the most important things for me to be here, right? I am here to teach you, but also I am here to focus on you getting the most out of what I could teach you. Another thing that I totally teach my kids, I truly teach my kids, is if you get one thing, just one thing out of my presentation and can take it and implement it, you are so way ahead of everybody else, right? So that's all you really need, because if we just learn all these things and don't take action on any, it's just like passing billboards along the highway. You're just catching that information and then you're letting it go. But if you read a billboard and you're like, oh, that sounds really interesting, I'm going to call them. And then you call them and you take action. Guess what? Something happens with that. So it's the exact same thing of what we're going to be doing here today, right? I'm going to be talking to you a lot about different things. And if you just take one thing that you could implement and truly apply, that could be that life-changing one, right? All right, so let's begin. This is me. I am Marina, the Trader Chick. And today I want to focus on things that are overlooked all the time. Okay, so I have this saying, especially with trading, I'm like, we're constantly putting in windows, but because we don't have our walls built in, the windows are crashing down. What are the windows? They're trades, right? When you don't have a foundation of understanding how that trade was taken, what it was taken for, they're just going to keep crashing, right? And we're going to be keep on losing. So what I'm going to be giving you guys today is that foundation that when you do make the decisions, it is going to be a solid foundation holding those decisions up for you. And a lot of times we truly overlook these particular things. So today you are going to be getting all of it, and this alone will build your walls of foundation and information. Okay, so before we jump in, I want to give an official intro and also a fun fact, right? So a lot of times we forget that we are people sitting in front of charts, okay? We bring our experiences, our life views, our filters to the charts, right? Even though we could all be looking at the exact same chart, there is a reason why there are millions of traders and millions of different ways to look at the same chart, right? I always say it's the same thing with artists, right? Picasso and Dali stared at the same canvas. As a matter of fact, they were quite good friends. They stared at the same exact canvas, but their art styles were so unique and so different, because that's who we are. We are different people. And when you can embrace that you are bringing yourself to the chart versus listening to somebody else's filter and trying to apply that to your chart, it's going to be a really tough thing to do, right? So I want to just show you here who I am. I am Marina. I am an expat living in Barcelona, Spain. I have now been an expat for over 22 years. Before moving to Spain about 2 years ago, me and my family, we lived first in Costa Rica, for about 7 years, and then in Guatemala for 14 years. So now I am living here. And being an expat allows you to see things much differently than if you're just living in one area, right? So I personally think that everyone today has the opportunity to go and live in another country. It is probably the most rewarding thing that you could do for yourself. And if you have kids, for the kids, it's just so eye-opening. It's really, it's something that I personally believe everyone should embrace. So that is who I am. I have been an expat for so many years that I don't know any different anymore. And I'm so grateful to be able to do that. Before I was a day trader, I was a fitness instructor. Why do I tell you guys this? Because the majority of people think that to be a successful day trader, you need to be either into finance, economics, a math person, a software engineer person, or just an engineer. None of those things are true. I was a fitness instructor. Literally, that is what I was. I was a fitness instructor and a travel writer. So I still am actually a travel writer. And for me and my family, travel is not a luxury. It is a necessity. It is part of how we live. We travel 3 to 4 months out of the year, every single year. And day trading is a fantastic lifestyle choice, right? I could take it anywhere and everywhere I go, wherever, whenever. And that's the beauty of day trading, right? You can literally do it from absolutely anywhere in the world. So before I jump into my presentation, I actually have a free presentation for you guys, a free cheat sheet or worksheet that you could use following along. You go here to makingofaDaytrader.com. You could go there, get that, and then download it, and then you could review it with me. And plus, Dave is going to have the replay so that you could go through again. All right, so go to makingofaDaytrader.com. And so let's dive in. What in the world is day trading? And why is it not investing? All right, so this is super important because day trading is literally that. It's just day trading, right? It is not investing. And unlike investing, day trading, you do not want to diversify. This is so important, guys. Okay, so honestly, if you can get the one thing out of my entire presentation, I'm going to show you a lot today, but if you get that one thing, it is that you want to focus on one market, one instrument. Look, imagine your child or a child comes up to you and says to you, hey, I want to learn how to play a musical instrument. And you go to them, super, what do you want to play? Well, I want to learn how to play the piano. I want to learn how to play the drums, the flute, and the guitar. And you look at them and you're like, wow, all four of those are so different. How about we focus on one? And once you master that, then you could move on to others, right? So the thing is, you cannot be in 4 different places at the same exact time, right? So when I hear people come and say, oh, I want to learn how to trade. I want to learn how to trade futures, crypto, equities. I'm like, well, you really need to choose one because they are so different and you cannot sustainably keep up with all of them. It's impossible. So I tell them, just choose one. Start with one. Master that one, and then you can move on to other markets, right? I don't know if you guys know who Liberace is. I don't care if you love him, you hate him, whatever he brings out in you, but we could all agree on one thing. He was an absolute brilliant pianist. He was a master pianist, right? I can guarantee you, though, if he picked up a guitar, he'd probably be pretty good at it. He's just a musically inclined guy, but he knew where his gifts were. You guys need to find that one instrument. That is such a massive difference with trading and investing. The other thing is when you invest in a company, let's pretend you're investing in Apple, right? Apple is about to come out with whatever number phone they're about to come out with, right? So as an investor, you do care, what is their new things? Are they going to be putting AI? Like all these questions, right? Because you're okay with sitting through the ups and downs of it for now, right? You're okay with sitting through the ups and downs of Apple. However, If you are a day trader, you don't care if it's going up or if it's going down, because we can make money either way, right? That is the beauty of day trading, is that we focus on what's in front of us, the technical analysis, and that's where we really work with it, okay? So that is another massive difference. We don't care. Day traders don't care what's going on in 3 months. They only care what's in front of them at that moment. All right, so one important thing that I want to talk about is, hang on just one second here. Okay, I see that there's some questions. So what's important for us to understand is myths. I don't know if you guys know what myths are, what misconceptions are. Basically, what this is about is that, hang on just one second. Okay, so basically what happens when we have all of these myths and limiting beliefs is that we shut ourselves off before we can get started, correct? That is a big thing that actually happens to us. Hang on a second. Okay, so we're going to be busting some myths right now. Okay, let's get ready to bust these myths, because once you bust these myths, so it's kind of like what's happening when you're having these myths is that you have these obstacles that completely block you. All right, so first and foremost, day trading is risky, right? I mean, how many times have we heard, oh, it's such a gamble, you're gambling. So here's my question to you, right? If you or somebody you know wants to become a pilot, okay, let's pretend your friend says, hey, I want to be a pilot. And then the next day he comes up to you and he's like, all right, let's go in the plane. I'm going, we're headed out. You're going to be like, what are you talking about? You have no idea how to even start the plane, right? Because it's ludicrous. You know that, because to be a pilot, you need to go to pilot school. You need to do simulation hours. You need to put in the time, right? Because otherwise it's just a suicide mission if you get into a plane and somehow take off and then somehow pretend you're going to land. So day trading is the same, right? The thing is with day trading is that there is absolutely no barrier to entry. There's no barrier to entry. What does that mean? It means if you have a little bit of money, anybody could go and put money into the market, right? And then what happens? You don't know what you're doing. There's no strategy. You haven't learned anything. You end up losing. 99% of the people end up losing money. And guess what? They're saying, oh my God, it's too risky. Day trading is gambling. No, it's not. You're just being an idiot. You're just putting money that you worked really hard on and thinking that you're going to just make money just because you put it in. You need to have a strategy. It is so important. The other really big myth is that you need $25,000 to get started. Absolutely not. You can get started with $100 today, $500, right? You can get started with a really small account. And what does that mean? What does this $25,000 even mean? Basically, where it comes from is that at one point, brokerages were telling you, and today is the same thing, that if you come up with a certain amount of money, $25,000, they will give you a margin account, right? You guys have heard of margin accounts, I'm sure, right? What does that mean, margin accounts? Basically, margin accounts are loan sharks. That's what I'm saying. It's just a loan shark. It's just the brokerage lending you money against your $25,000. You do not need that. This is not obligatory. It is not mandatory. You do not need to go and borrow more money on top of what you're already putting in, because guess what? It doesn't matter if you win or lose. You're going to have to pay it back, and you have to pay it back with an interest. So here's the thing. You don't need $25,000, and you definitely do not need to sign up for a margins account. Okay, another massive, massive myth is that you need to be a math whiz or have a financial background. Absolutely not. I don't use math ever for trading. My profits and losses are the only things that I could calculate from as math, because the rest is all technical analysis, it's patterns, it's not math. You do not need to do that. Another massive, massive myth or misconception or misleading is that it's stressful and chaotic. Well, if you're doing this kind of crazy town stuff, yeah, for sure, this is crazy. Nobody, no human mind can sustain this. We are not built to look at this many blinking lights, okay? It is not true. I have one monitor, one. I use one monitor and one chart. That's it. You guys cannot, this is not sustainable. You will burn out within 3 to 6, I'll give you at most 9 months, and I don't even think that's going to last. Okay. The other thing is that you need the latest, newest, shiny objects, shiny syndrome or whatnot. No, you don't. We all need professional platform. That is 100%. You need a platform, okay? A charting platform. That is, you cannot be a Formula One driver in a minivan, right? You need the proper vehicle. And it's the same exact thing when it comes to trading. All right, this is another massive, massive issue is research and news. Usually by the time we are in the position where you buy in the rumor and you sell in the news, because we don't get much more information, right? We only get like these experts selling us their agendas, okay? And it kills me to hear, because I have so many students that want to be equity traders, and when they first start with me, they're like, oh, I wake up at 4 in the morning, I do all this research, and then I'm up all day watching the charts, and after the charts, then I sit up and research again. I'm like, you're gonna die in like, you know, you're gonna die soon. That's no way to live. It's not even fun. You don't need that, because the news usually does not reflect what's actually happening in front of you. All right, so you got to avoid that. You do not need to do any market research. If you understand what the technical analysis is telling you, that is all you truly need. All right, guys, who here has been a victim of the trigger happiness? I am raising my hand up high. I think we have all done this at one point or another. So what is being trigger happy? This is a real thing. I remember when I first began, I was taking like 20 to 40 trades within a 2-hour session. I mean, it was crazy. Even if I was winning, I was getting completely eaten alive through the commissions, right? So I wasn't making any money. Look, here's the thing. Trading, the way I compare day trader, professional traders today, is to big game hunters. I do not condone hunting at all, but the reality is pro traders and big game hunters are very similar. Why? Big game hunters, when they go out, are they going to be shooting any little prairie dog or field mouse that passes along? No. They sit and they wait for the big game. Pro traders literally take maybe between 1 to 3 trades per day. They are very highly profitable, very, I guess you could say, stable trades, but they don't just shoot the gun at all places, right? You need to understand that and start to watch it, because the most radical way to trade is conservatively, right? Whenever you hear this massive aggressive behavior, these humongous wins, guess what? It's followed by a lot of massive losses. All right. So small profits daily bring you the big profits yearly. That is how you become a sustainable trader. Okay. FOMAT. This is a word that I coined, FOMAT. Fear of missing a trade. You guys have heard of FOMO, right? You know what FOMO is? Fear of missing out. Guess what? We live in a world of FOMAT. Fear of missing a trade. Look, it's the same. I'm going to give you a very vivid analogy. Imagine you're about to go surfing and you arrive to the beach and you're getting dressed and you're putting on your wetsuit, but all of a sudden there's this massively beautiful wave. Are you going to hop on your board and start to paddle out and try to catch that wave? No, because you know it's gone, and you also know there's going to be thousands of other waves coming, right? You just know that. So you're not going to be moronic and jump and try to catch a wave that's already passed. But it happens all the time, right? We try to catch these trades, we try to run after them, and it never happens. But look, here's the thing, guys. There are thousands of other trades coming. Thousands. You do not need to catch the one that you just spotted. Let it go. There will be another one coming in a minute, maybe in 5 minutes or 15 minutes, but it's coming. All right, so let's go back to that instrument. What to trade? Let's go back to understanding what is that one instrument, that one market that you are going to focus on and master. All right, so Forex. We all heard of Forex, right? Foreign exchange, currencies. Look, the way that works is it's in pairs, right? You take 2 different pairs with you, okay? You take whatever, it doesn't matter what the pairs are. but you choose the pairs. And the way it works is one pair is stronger than the other or whatnot. It doesn't matter. The point is, if you do too many pairs, again, you're going to get scattered. You're not going to understand because you cannot follow all the different countries, because that's literally what you're doing, is you're following countries. And usually with Forex, you're following egos of the leaders of those countries. So be wary, okay? There's a reason why Forex is one of the most popular, but it's also one of the biggest losses of them all. Equities. I love when I ask people the people come to me and they're like, oh, I want to trade, or I ask them what they're trading and they're like, oh, I trade stocks. I'm like, really? There's 5,000 stocks on the US market alone. All right, a professional trader will be like, well, I trade a sector, I don't know, pharmaceuticals, entertainment, tech, or they trade like the big movers, right? Amazon, Meta, Microsoft, Tesla, but they know those positions inside and out. All right. Again, if you're going to be doing equities, really hone it down, because you cannot be watching many different ones at the same time. They don't work together the same. It's not possible. Indexes, sure, but one index, you can't be trading S&P and thinking that it's going to be the same as the Russell. No, right? So you got to figure that out as well. And futures, all right, that's another one. Oh, I trade futures. Really? So you're trading wheat, crude, and the indexes? They're so different. Again, choose your lane. I personally love the E-minis, the ES minis. That's my favorite. The S&P 500 index on the futures market. It is a very highly volatile, highly volume, but I guess market, right? So that to me is the best. But you need to choose the one. Again, even in the specific markets, there are many different instruments. So really decide what instrument works best for you, which one you like the most. Options, great. Then stick to options. Don't start going all over the place. Oh, crypto. I mean, crypto right now is completely out of control, right? Like, it's just beyond explanation of what's going on. And it's fine, right? It's great. Just don't be stupid. Don't leverage it, because you can lose it in a minute. Crypto is still a very highly emerging market area. And again, you don't want to leverage, but you do want to have conscious of it. And when you say crypto, and then you say Bitcoin, Bitcoin is one out of 6,000 altcoins and projects. So again, if you're going to do it, decide which ones you want to watch. Okay, so it's really, really important to understand the broker. All right, because I get so many people that write to me and they're like, okay, I just got a broker, I'm ready to start. I'm like, so what do you want to do? Oh, I want to do futures. So then why did you just sign up with an equities broker? Look, guys, you need to know what you want to trade before you sign up with a broker. Why? Because if I am trading futures and I'm with an equities broker, they are not fit to do the futures market perfectly, right? They are more of an equities thing. So what does that mean? It means that they don't have the best feed, that their commissions are going to be much higher. So if I go with a broker that is with futures, chances are they will have the best feed and they will have the best commissions for me. And again, I'm going to say this loud and clear. Do not go with a margins account. Margin account is a loan sharky. They are lending you that money. Okay, brokers, that is their job. They need to get money out of you through commissions, through margins, whatever, but that's their job, right? So you want to make sure that you don't kill yourself over it. Margin accounts are not mandatory and certainly not obligatory. And again, if you don't know what market you're doing, you're going to be paying insane commissions because you're going to be with the wrong brokers, right? And another thing is you want real-time live feed quotes. But if you're not with a proper brokerage, you might get a little bit of a delayed feed. And what happens then? You will end up losing a lot. So decide which ones you want to do. And platforms. I'm going to say it again. You cannot be in a Formula One race driving a minivan. Okay, you'll never even begin the race. So the same, you need a platform for trading. All right, so here's something really interesting, guys. every single thing that we do in the world has its own lingo, right? If you're a doctor, there's a whole lingo there. If you are an artist, there's a whole lingo there. If you are a car racer, there's a whole lingo there. My family, my sons and my husband are really into rock climbing, and they have a whole language, whole lingo, right? It's all in English. I know that they're saying the words that are in English, but I don't understand half of them because I'm not a climber. Day trading, financial markets has its own lingo. And I am shocked that people who are putting in a lot of money do not know the basic lingo. And once you understand the basic lingo, it's going to completely change everything for you. So let's learn just a few basic words right now that you could now start to understand a lot more what's going on, and that will help you make better decisions of better entries. All right, let's go. Intraday trading literally means you're in and out of trade in the same day. Why is that important? So if you are swing trading, which means that you are in for 3 days up to whatever 3 months, and you're looking at a 5-minute chart, is that going to work for you? No, right? You want to be in the right time frame. So if you're intraday trading and you're looking at a 1-day chart, is that going to work? Or a week chart? No. You need to be on a 5-minute chart, a 15-minute chart. It needs to work with your time frame of what you want to do. Otherwise, you are going to be really screwing it up. Okay? Bull market, we all know what that means. And right now we're in a bull market going up. Bear market, market going down. So the other thing is trends, right? We all know that there is the upward trend and then there's the downward trend. But remarkably enough, the most important and probably the one that we end up losing the most amount of money in is a sideways trend. And the other way of calling a sideways trend is the chop, exhaustion pattern, indecision zone, consolidation, transition. That is all the same thing. Channeling market, flat market, that's the trend. All right, so this is really important. We all know about the risk management, right? Like we pretend to put in risk managements, right? I cannot even tell you the amount of mental stops, mental risk managements people put in is just nauseating, right? It's literally like putting on a mental seatbelt on your child in the car and telling and pretending that you're going to save them if there's a car accident, right? So you need to put those risk managements, the stops in there and not to touch it. What is a profit target? So trading is a very emotional, very head game type of activity, right? It just messes with our heads. So what is a profit target? You want to put in exactly where you want to take your first profit, right? Because if you don't, again, it's that mental profit you're going to be in, and boom, oh my God, the market is going in my direction. I'm not going to profit here. I'm going to continue. And then all of a sudden, boom, it changes, but it hit your profit, and now it completely stopped you out. So now you are angry at yourself for not taking the profit where you needed to. And on top of that, now you're at a loss. Okay? Greed and ego, they take over. But if you have your safety, you have your things in place, you don't need to worry about it. You put that profit in and you put that risk in and you are golden. And you can do that all from your good charting softwares. Okay? You need the interactive charting softwares. Don't do the don't. Domes are just as complicated, and again, you won't have your stops and profit targets in place. Indicators. Okay, we have seen some charts that have tons of indicators, right? I am literally down to 2 indicators. As you can see here, I only use 2 indicators. I use EMA lines and the MACDs. When I first began, I had 3 charts and over 10 indicators. I was constantly in analysis paralysis. Because what happens is we watch all these different gurus and YouTubers and this and that, and you know, this guy is saying that they use that indicator, this guy is saying that they use that indicator, and before we know it, we have all these indicators and we don't really know what they're doing for us, right? So what I ended up doing, because I was in constant analysis paralysis, I was using all of these indicators that simply did not work for me. And I stripped my charts entirely and started to put them back in. Interestingly enough, I had the Bollinger Bands, the Kettler Bands, and the Fibonacci's, right? And the RSIs. Those are some of the most popular indicators that pretty much half of the trading world talks about. And the minute I removed them, I felt a big relief because they just simply didn't work for me. So you need to find indicators that work for you, okay? Not for somebody else. Really important. And again, I'm going to go back here, guys. The sideways market, they take your money. So once you understand that, you can spot it and you could really work with it, okay? So this is a biggie. I get so many people saying, oh my goodness, I don't understand what happened. I put it in to go, to buy and it took out. I'm like, well, you did the wrong thing, right? So what is a buy? Buy is going long. It is literally you enter at a low price point and you exit at a high price point. It's that simple. Don't overthink it. You're buying, you're going long, you're entering low, exiting high, boom. The other side of it is selling, shorting the market, right? You're going short. You're shorting the market. What does that mean? Don't overthink it. You're just entering high, exiting low, taking the money in between because your technical analysis is telling you that the market is going down right now. All right, that's all it is. Okay, so now, what is the difference between a market entry and a limit order? A limit order is literally an order waiting. So what is the difference? First of all, when you are doing a market entry, you are telling the market that you are an amateur, right? Because obviously you're just looking and you're like, oh, no, this looks really good. I think I'm going to go here, right? There's no plan in place. You're just kind of going with it. So the market knows that and immediately gives you slippage. So if you guys haven't heard of slippage, slippage is usually a penalty, right? You lose 20 to 25% right off the bat whenever you do a market entry or a market exit. But when you're doing a limit order, you are in control. You're telling the market, hey, this is where I am entering. This is where I want you to fill me. And if you don't fill me at that price, I'm okay with it. And you just let it go, okay? But then when you do get filled, you get filled exactly where you want to go. So the same goes with the stop limit, right? That's that risk management in place. Because if you just do a market exit, boom, slippage. You not only are you losing already what you were thinking of losing, but you're going to lose another 25% on top of that. It's just how it goes, all right? So it's really important to understand that. Now let's talk about technical analysis because I mentioned technical analysis several times. Technical analysis, the coolest thing of it all is that it's free. It's completely and totally free. And you can do it on any charting software for any market. All right. But what is it? It's the language of the market. And let's understand it because once you get it, you're going to have massive aha moments all over the place. And you're going to definitely stop going in for the bad trades and entering for the good trades. All right. Areas. Resistance and support. I'm sure that you guys have heard this, but this is a huge technical analysis thing. What is a resistance area? It is literally the market is going up and all of a sudden it starts to hit an area 3 or 4 more times. It is the ceiling of the market and you need to draw that in. Every software has a drawing tool, even if it's just a straight line, but you need to have that drawn in so that you could recognize it when you are in a live trade. All right. Support area. When the market is going down and all of a sudden starts to hit this area over and over again, that is the floor of the market. It is the support area. It is the floor of the market. Reversal patterns. I personally love reversal patterns. They are my favorites. Okay, what are reversal patterns? Double tops, triple tops, double bottoms, triple bottoms, head and shoulders. So are they telling you there's going to be a reversal? No, but it's a very high indication that there will be. But what it does tell you is that the market is slowing down. And the last thing you want to do is give a weak market your money. So when you start to spot those, you just stay out. Stay out because you know that there's going to be another good trade coming really soon and you want that confirmation. My other absolute favorite thing in the world is divergences. I live for the divergence. They are my holy grail. What is divergence? Super simple. As you can see here, my price action is going up and my MACDs are going down. What does this tell me? It tells me that the market has completely gone weak. It is slowing down. It is not going to really work in my favor until it breaks divergence or transitions entirely. And the coolest thing of it all, you can spot this anywhere. It's simple and it is probably one of the most powerful things that you could recognize. All right, guys, let's put all this together. So again, you can go to makingofadaytrader.com and you'll be able to get my cheat sheet there. All right, are you guys ready to put this all together? Look, one of the most popular and most powerful trades out there is the breakout trade. Okay, the breakout trade, one of the most powerful things. But if you don't recognize it, if you don't spot it, you're gonna miss it. So how do you spot it? You put in your resistance area. You're using your technical analysis to truly understand where this is happening and how this is happening, right? So consolidation area, that is when, so basically a breakout is you're going in one direction and all of a sudden it's this flat zone, this indecision zone, the channeling market, and then it breaks out, it continues in the same direction. That is a breakout. All right, so when you look for a breakout trade, you want to be able to spot when it breaks through those areas and also strength in the market, right? As you can see here, I have below is my MACDs. And once it's broken through my MACDs, it goes really high, and it's also really high with my price action, that's when I know that that is a really strong breakout, okay? That is how you spot this. Look, guys, we have absolutely everything we need to take action, right? We have everything we need to take action. But here's the question. This is a really important question. How do you know that you are doing it right? Who is there to help you? How do you know with all this information that is out there, right? We have these amazing summits, we have YouTubers, we have books, we have podcasts, we have so many different avenues that you could get information from. But at the end of the day, when you're sitting in front of your chart, how do you know? How do you know that you're doing it right? Because all of this is great. And the real question, though, usually is, how do I get started? And it isn't something that beginners ask me. As a matter of fact, I get this mainly from seasoned traders or people that have been really, really trying to trade and are still inconsistent and are still not profitable. They ask me, how can I possibly turn this around? And interestingly enough, it's usually lacking the basics. And it's that simple. I know that it sounds a little bit too simple, but it's not, right? It's not easy, but it really is that simple, lacking the understanding of the basics. And this is, look here, imagine getting into a car. All right, you guys forget that when we first sat down in the car, we didn't know the basics, right? It wasn't automatic for us. Like, where was the steering wheel? Where was the gear shift? Where was the clutch? We learned all of that, right? So today when we hop in, we just know. But somebody taught us that in the beginning, right? I want you guys to become even more creative. Just truly, truly imagine this scenario. Imagine somebody gets into your car and they have never, ever been in a car before. And you're like, all right, buckle up. Your seatbelt is going to save your life. And they're like, buckle up, my seatbelt. Where is it? How do I do this? If nobody ever showed them where the seatbelt was, how are they supposed to know what it is, right? And this was my own personal sad truth for years, and I mean years. I spent over $20,000 on my own trainings, and I struggled. Why? Because the majority of these trainings were in chat rooms where people were just saying, oh, take this trade or do that, and I had no idea why. And every single time I asked, can you please explain, why did you just take that? What is the divergence? What did you mean by that? I would either be ignored or treated as if I was born with this information. And you're not, we're not. But it's overlooked entirely, right? And after years of doing this and trying and struggling, I almost lost, I didn't almost, I ended up losing $4,000 within 5 minutes and I just felt defeated. I felt completely drained. I just felt like a loser because here I was trying so hard and I ended up losing all this money and it just felt horrible. And I quit. I actually physically quit. I was just done. I could not handle it anymore. I quit. But here's the thing, guys. We are all bit by the trading bug. Every single person in this room, I can guarantee you, is bit by the trading bug, right? And it never stops itching. And do you know why? I'll tell you why. Because deep down inside, we know that we could do this. When I quit, I walked away. I walked away probably for like 5 months, but I kept on constantly coming and watching others. And I was thinking to myself, if they can do it, I know that I can do it. There is very little difference with me and them. So what is the difference? And that's when I came back. So first of all, I mentioned earlier, I had 3 monitors. I literally took almost brand new 2 monitors, high definition, and I donated it to my garbage bin. Then I had 10 indicators. I stripped my charts to naked, bare price action, nothing else. And then I slowly put in my personal indicators that I use now. And then I focused on the basics. And I studied them for years. I did, because the basics is really where it's at. And a few years back, one of my students goes to me, you know, Marina, your teaching philosophy and style is very similar to Coach John Wooden. And I was like, who's Coach John Wooden? I never heard of the guy. So of course I looked him up. Oh, okay. Well, now I know who he is. I mean, this guy was a legendary basketball coach, legendary coach. And his entire teaching philosophy and training philosophy was, when in doubt, get back to the basics. And I mean, this guy had 88 national championships, 10 NCAAs. He trained, and his players were all A-list players, stars, right? But did not matter how many accolades, how many championships they had. He would always start each season with the basics. How to tie your shoe, how to roll up your sock, how to dribble the ball, because it did not matter what your ego is telling you that you know how to do. If you're on that court and you don't tie your shoelace properly, guess what? You are going to sprain your ankle, and then everything you've done and whatnot, you're going to be sitting out for the rest of the season. So getting back to the basics was his whole philosophy. And guess what? It worked. It worked. So today, guys, I have a very special offer for participants only for the people that took the time to be here today, which I am so grateful for. I have my introductory course, Bootcamp for Day Trading. You can take this on any apparatus, desktop, laptop, tablets, phones, you name it. All of this, you get one-time price of $97. One-time price. Okay, I want you to take the time right now. You guys took this time out, so let's finish strong. I want you to go to your browser and put in bootcampfordaytrading.com. Put in bootcampfordaytrading.com. It is going to take you to everything that I'm offering in the class. If you are not able to open it, I want you to go in there and you'll see there's HTTPS. Remove the S. Google just did an update, and I don't know, for some reason an S is a firewall. So remove the S, and it's going to bring you to see exactly all that is included. So first and foremost, what can you get for $97 today that brings you the same return on investment? Do you guys like to play golf? So the other day, somebody told me that at Pebble Beach in California, it is $695 per person to play one, just one. And that's not including the caddy, all right? You guys want to go out for dinner, lunch, and take your family and friends out? Chances are $97 could barely buy 2 or 3 people a really decent meal, right? So let me break this down for you. Again, I want you guys to go to bootcampfordaytrading.com, open it up. If you're having a hard time opening it up, remove the S from the HTTPS, remove it, and then you'll be able to open it up. So what do we get in this course? And again, it's a one-time price. This is not recurring. You're going to get the simplified day trading package. And as I mentioned many times, you need a platform, right? And I know platforms can be quite intimidating. So I have a tutorial for regardless of the platform you're going to be using to help you guys set up your platform and to do the fun stuff, get into the actual trading. Then we're going to talk about the market anatomy and really dissecting the technical analysis, understanding the trends, understanding the movements, uptrends, sideways trends, downward trends, reversals, divergences. So you really, really understand all the technical analysis, because once you get that, I can guarantee that you will be completely taking your trading to the next level. All right. We are going to be focusing on those patterns, on the spotting the areas and divergences. For me, divergences, like I mentioned earlier, are the holy grail of trading. And once you spot them, you will never go back because they are so powerful. And then we can start to master the breakout trade. Okay, spotting that breakout trade, mastering it, and also avoiding the FOBO, the fake out breakouts, because you can get caught up in them, but you'll learn how to avoid them entirely. All right, breakouts are amazing once you understand how to spot them, and you'll have unlimited access to this curriculum. All right, all of this is valued at $1,600. This is everything that you will be getting inside the course. And here's what some of my students have to say. And like I mentioned before, I have students from all over the world because you can trade from anywhere in the world. Michelle, just finished the boot camp. Best money I ever spent. Derek, you're the only mentor I know that truly checks the work. Adrian, I am enjoying the boot camp. I am learning every single day. So I want to share something very important with you. Do you remember my question to you? How do you know you are doing it right? How do you know you're doing it right? If you don't have somebody to ask about your charts, an accountability person, how are you going to know what you're doing? So what I have included in that $97 price, 1 month, one entire month of one-on-one mentorship with me, feedback, unlimited questions, all included in that, because having a mentor could be what could truly make the difference of you becoming pro traders. Okay. And I also have a live trade chat room where you guys could sit in with me and we are implementing everything in the live trade rooms. All right, guys, this is all included in this valued at $2,600. You guys get it for $97. So go here right now, bootcampfordaytrading.com. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. Again, this is everything you're going to get in the course. 30 days one-on-one mentorship with me, 30 days in the live chat room, the curriculum, working with me all along. And the reality is, this is all worth less than one price of a trade. It is worth less than the trade, right? I don't know about you, but normally I spend my average trade is between $200 to $400. This course is $97. So you're going to 10x your return on your investment and go 100 times to these dinners, taking out all of your friends. All right, but here's a really important thing. First of all, we are in a packed room. This is awesome. There are so many people in the room today, and I love it. Because of my mentorship, I am only able to take 25 people because I really want to devote my time to truly helping everybody as much as I can. So this gets sold out really, really fast. And honestly, for $97, it's kind of a no-brainer, right? So let's go here right now. I want to show you guys here. So bootcampfordaytrading.com. This is the order form right here. This is the order form right here. As you can see here, $97. Or you could do a payment plan, which is only 2 payments, $59, but you'll get access to everything right away. All right, so go here, bootcampfordaytrading.com right here. And this is where you are going to be ending up right here. All right, guys. So like I said before, hang on just one second. Bootcampfordaytrading.com. You get everything included and everything that I have just mentioned. All right, so I see that there are some questions before we finish. Alrighty here. Do you use regular settings on MACDs? Yes, I do, Lisa. I just love the universal MACDs. They are super simple and they are so wonderful. I like the MACDs best because they are the least lagging indicator that I have tested, and I have tested many. I am now going on almost 14 years doing this, and trust me, so this to me has been one of the best for me. What time frame do you find myself using most? So Matthew, I personally love, I use tick charts, which is transactions per bar. But if you're going to do an equivalent of it, because I'm also a scalper, I really love to go in really in and out fast. I don't have the stress level to manage longer time trades. So between 1, 3, or 5 minute charts is usually my favorite for sure. Confused, are you using video? Yes, so Lisa, there is going to be a lot of video, 100%. So yes. All right, guys, let me know if there are any other questions that I could answer for you. And thank you, Dave, for having me here. I really, really appreciate this. So Lisa, what I teach in the bootcamp is for any time frame. We work with what you want to work with, right? And actually I have swing traders as well. As long as you know your swing trading, that we work on that time frame. The charts I teach you is understanding how to read the chart. So it does not matter if you're day trading or swing trading, because we work with that together. So if you say I'm going to be a swing trader, so that would be focusing on the 1-day chart, 3-day chart. If you want to do day trading, on that. So Nick, without a trading journal or back testing, you don't even need mine. You guys need to have a journal. You need to back test and you need to understand what is happening. If you don't have your trades that you're taking and keeping track of that, it's never going to happen, right? So I help, because some people don't know how to do a journal properly. I have one that I've created to help you guys as well. All right, please let me know if there's any other questions or anything else. And thank you again for being here and taking this time out. I truly appreciate it. And thanks, Dave, for having me.